Well, I asked, you answered. I had two ideas I wanted to do, and I was going to do one of these. As we're waiting for the new update to come in pretty soon. We're near the end of June, so that means July. We're about to get to the next update, which is going to be a two-parter. I'm kind of excited to see exactly what's going on there. But I think part of the reason why it's taking a little while is because they're also adding some other stuff to it. But, figuring as such to talking about, I figure as well I have something here. So a lot of you seemed interested in hearing my ideas of what I would like to see as far as wish lists or quality of life to this game. For those who don't know what that is, it's the really not really productive or monetary things, but they're little updates that makes the game a lot more better. So basically making the game run faster, or in some cases, like, I'm going to give you some examples during these things, and you'll understand, gotcha, now I understand. Most of you probably do, but there are some of you who may have never heard of it. But anyways, so I have a list here. I'm going to give you a list of my ideas of what things I would like to see, if ever they do updates for this. And I'll give you some examples, or show you some examples of this, so, that'll be something. But, regardless of that, the other thing too is that these list is not in order. So just because I leave something for last doesn't mean that this is the thing I really want. This is just more so things I wrote down, and just so you know, so there's no real context of what's better than the other, right? Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this. So the first thing that I think would be cool to have, and something that is pretty much been mentioned and confirmed to come in one of their other games, is, wouldn't it be great to just collect one button to get everything here? Alright, so instead of having to collect each thing individually, I can just click one button and everything gets collected. Yeah, I'm talking about a collect all button. If you don't know what that is, allow me to show you an example. Alright, this is Disney's Magic Kingdom by Gameloft. I was going to show another example like Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff, but that game's dead. I mean, they're still doing updates, but it's old updates, so it's nothing new. So as far as I know, the game's dead. But anyways, this shows you a good example, because this basically shows off something that I figured, right? So you got these magic stuff that kind of drops items and stuff like that, and be like, oh man, I really don't want to go ahead and do all that. Well, I click on the button like this, and look, gather spells. Alright, let's do this. And wow, look at this! It's collecting everything made available. Look at that! I got all the stuff. Wow, isn't that amazing? This feature would have been great to have for HorrorTown. And in fact, as I said before, in Snoopy, they're actually going to add that. However, it's a lot more complicated because they have to rewrite the codes and everything like that. So is it possible to see something like this in HorrorTown? Pretty probably. But it's going to take a while, and I don't think it's going to be something particularly like right away type of thing, but it is probably a feature. Most likely, whenever Snoopy gets theirs, and once they get the thing ironed out, they probably copy and paste it to the other game. So there's that right there. So now that we got that out of the way, let's jump back into the game. Alright, so here's the next thing that would be cool to have for HorrorTown as far as a quality of life feature. It's more of a visualized thing, but this is more so to help with mainly one of the holidays, and that's Christmas. As you know, they for some reason don't want to add like new map terrain anymore because of complications or things of that nature. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if they actually add weather effects into the game? Kind of like what they had for Addams Family Mystery Mansion with the stuff. Like, imagine this. Imagine you're playing the game and it's fall, and you get like leaves falling to the ground like this. Like, wouldn't this be cool? Or even better, winter with Christmas, and all of a sudden it starts snowing. Wow, wouldn't this be cool? Like, you actually feel like it's actually snowing, and then you having the snow on the buildings actually make it seem like the snow is coming together rather than it just ended type of thing. It would help a lot, I would say that. But, again, it's another feature that is in-game previously, and they're going to be doing this for Snoopy as well, so it's possible to see something like this in the game. But one of the other weird things I thought would be interesting in this game that other games have, like, one game I could think of at the top of my head is Smurfs Village, but It is very complicated to do, and I feel like something like this would be a lot of work and a lot of money put into it. And if anything, I could see this be like a Halloween reskin. If they're not going to do like, little leaves, then this might be a better idea. A nighttime mode. Like, imagine this being a lot darker and nighttime stuff. I'll give you an example. Here's an example that I've made up here, which basically shows you what Halloween would look like, that the lights are on. Can you imagine this? Wouldn't this feel Halloween? Because Halloween's usually associated at night, so it would make sense to have something like this here. Problem is, something with my concept is it takes a lot longer. You would have to make individual assets for buildings, and that takes too much time. It would be easier to just kind of, like, make the screen black, in a sense, but then the problem is then people will think the game is, like, oh, too dark or something like that, so... the dark and nighttime thing, it's a nice idea, but frankly, do I think this is gonna something coming in? Whether I can see them doing, but as far as like nighttime mode, probably not. Probably not. Now, another feature I figured to add, I kind of talked about this in my anniversary video, but you see these NPCs here. One of the reasons why I kind of like this game is to make this game feel lively. Is that, wouldn't it be cool if we actually had different NPC monster type things here? But then I was like, well, we don't want to add more people to fill up the void for new characters, right? I mean, it would be kind of stupid to kind of have something like this be a main feature, right? So what if, and hear me out, instead of having new character NPCs, we can have these NPCs have costume skins. And what I mean by that is that you can click on, say, either one of their houses, or that's Dustin's, that's the wrong example, but you get the picture, or click on a new building that's associated for skins and decorations, so that you can actually go ahead and say the male or whatever people to be this particular skin. So you can have, for example, say, imagine the horrors or spawns actually be walk around characters, right? So you can actually have them like horrors just kind of walking around, and then they get scared and whatnot. Like, it wouldn't have been, it would be interesting to kind of have more monster varieties. That's one thing they can do. Now, as far as something like this going, it's more of a visualized thing. It's nothing really important or productive. It's something nice, I would say. Like, it would kind of add more interesting features and kind of give more in depth. But the problem is, I feel like this could add more confusion as far as like giving time away from other things they could be doing. So although this is kind of nice, the whole point of these characters are that they're NPC background characters. So it's more like, yeah, probably not the best idea. But it is something I was thinking of that was kind of be cool to kind of see and all that type of stuff there. But there you go. Now, something I will mention, another thing that I think would be best is very easy for them to do. Maybe fix this. Now, the items and whatnot, whatever, fine. I can deal with that. It's the currency. It's this. They need to fix this to be a lot lower, or have ways to get us more currency and time. Now, Snoopy has a similar issue when the coins and grinds was so much that it's becoming a problem for decorating things. So they have a solution for this, and that is something that was associatedly introduced with the atoms. Alright, so we're back in my mansion, and this is taking place during the Lights Camera Atoms event, which I'm going to make videos about, so don't worry about that. But one of the things I wanted to feature is that something they added was this. New maps. So for example, if you were to click on, say, here, it takes you to a new place what actually has new areas, maps, and stuff like that nature. And this helps with the the actual building stuff. So wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had something like this in game? Like, what if they have a horror land, right? Imagine building your own little Horrorland area, or having it so that you can have more stuff in here, right? That would be kind of cool to have. But the thing is, if that's the case, then they would have to build story with it and a new add-on type thing, and then it's like, is that possible? It's probable, but at the same time, the other thing that you don't want to have happen is having the Simpsons tapped out issue with Krusty Land. For those who don't know, it became a meme where it was cool at first to go there, but then you don't want to go there anymore. Another prime example of this is Assimilation. Assimilation is under that boat now, where it's like, yeah, it was cool when it's there, but now not anymore. So it's going to be hard to figure out a way to do this. And I think with how they did the catacombs, I think this was like a better way of doing it, because this helps add more space. So maybe they can figure something out where they can actually have a little area where you can add more items or decorations and stuff like that and have it go to and from places. So like tap a button to go to a place, or even like a little bus stop where you can click on it and it'll take you to the area needed. So that'd be kind of cool. That would be an interesting idea to have, but then again, it's just something to kind of look into. Now, because I'm with the atoms, I might as well go ahead and kind of make another mention here that I think would be interesting to have, and that is the UI fix. So you see how this is a lot more fixed better, where it kind of has this invitation here, right? It would be easier if the game was fitting like this, with one category is for like scenes, another category for characters, another category for like spawns, or not spawns, but suppliers, and then decorations, and you know, the things of that nature. And then of course you have your inventory deposit stuff there, right? That's one thing they can fix. Another feature they can fix is this, the character collection. As you know, the character collection, when it first was introduced, was back in 2019, and that idea was based off of Wonder Park's version. And since then, the other games, like Adams as well as Snoopy, had gotten a different version of it, where it actually has this instead, like having a bunch of characters in one row, so that way it's more easier to get to. And it works for Snoopy as well, more so because they have a lot of characters, and unfortunately Goosebumps is suffering with that problem. It has a lot of characters, so the go through left and right is a pain. Wouldn't it be easier to have them like kind of have it like this, so it'd be a lot easier to kind of click on the characters you want? I think so, and I feel like that's something they should rework with, or find a way to kind of put that into the game, and they can just use the same kind of feature but makes it smaller. I've seen it happen before, and this is something that they could easily put into the game, so it's more so finding the time and effort to do so. Another thing to fix is the rework with the shop. Namely, I'm talking about something like this stuff here. When you click on, you know, like this is just fine, but one of the big problems is the give me a second. Sorry about that. That was, I accidentally clicked on something I didn't want to do. But one of the reworks I wanted to talk about was this. As you know, when it comes to currency, as far as like the coins go, you have to pay real life money to get. But the Adams had something different, where you actually paid with the in-game currency, in this case it's rubies, to buy, you know, actual coins. Wouldn't it be better to kind of offer this for the Goosebucks, to change it for coins? Like, you can put the price to be higher for the higher tier, that's fine, but, you know, it gives us the option to kind of be able to do this without having to, you know, because no one's buying any packs with coins in it. That's kind of stupid. It's more easier to kind of use your money on something like this. It's a lot and it also saves the problem of trying to get coins and stuff like that in other ways. That's a bit more unique in a sense. And of course, you know, you got your packs here that you can have featured, which is good, as well as, like, you know, the battle pass and all that stuff. Like, they've done stuff like this before, which makes it interesting. But other than that, that's basically the gist of it. So let's go back into the game to kind of talk about some other interesting things. All right, we're back. So something I wanted to make mention of is the battle pass. Now, it's good for what it is so far, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could be slightly better, and it can actually help with some, make it unique and stand out type of thing, right? So this was brought up, this one thing though, like the buttons is basically kind of blending in with the other stuff too. It has a logo, but it still blends in. The other games have it so that it stands out from one another, and I'm going to show you this concept because this was something that was made for, say, the other one of the events. But here's an example for it came from the internet. See how the button is a lot more clear? It's big, bright, and whatever. Wouldn't that be interesting to have something like that pop in there? It's a nice little feature, something that maybe they're working with. I don't know. It's just something that would be a lot more visually pleasing as far as clicking on stuff goes. The other thing too is the logo they have for the Battle Pass key, or the Monster Pass, or whatever they call it, right? Now, the M's have the keys, which makes sense for them. Snoopy has their little card pass, because this was part of when they did their first thing was a movie event, and since then they've kind of kept it as such. I thought, well, instead of having it be keys again and having to make a new key asset every time, maybe to make it simpler, why not have it be... Well, before they were like, oh, let's do it like the books, but then it's like, well, we have special books, so that won't work. So I thought, well, when you come to play passes like this, usually you're doing it as like renting it, right? It's only for a limited time. So what if instead it was a rental card, like a library card? And I give you a prime example is something like this. Imagine this being one of the things you get instead of an assets, right? And it would be cool because you can have the characters that you get in the pack be the one who owns that card. So that way kind of advertise too, hey, if you buy this pack, you can also get this character, right? You're buying the character's ID pass. It's an interesting, unique idea, and you know, the number and everything like that was just something I made up there. But it gives you an idea, and you can set the change and stuff like that, and there's an easy template, and you can just easily just different colors, different character, whatnot, and it's a simple change, right? It's something that makes it stand out, I think, and it would actually make it a lot more pop in. But then again, it's just ideas. Maybe it's something that might be looking into doing, but as far as I know right now, that's a keys. But, you know, I'm just saying stuff out there to make it a little bit better. But, right. So, now I'm going to take you something back from the past, back in 2021, when this game was in a hiatus, when this whole area used to be a graveyard. And remember how there was a button that kind of takes you to the shop or the bookstore here? And it takes you to this area, the special books. Now, one of the big problems as of right now is you can't just get the special books as you want. For some reason, they just aren't available. Wouldn't it be interesting if we actually had a shop that allows you to buy all the books that are made available so far? I mean, why make it exclusive? It's just free money. You can have characters be like, oh, you know, I want to play, 12 Screams again, right? Why not have that made available? Like, so long as you're at the level of 12, then that's fine. And then if they're like, I want to play it, but I can't, then you can click on this and go, oh, I need to be 36 in order for this to come in. Because before, it was like, oh, only Bad Hair Day is available. You don't want to buy I can speak words. You don't want to buy Bad Hair Day? Too bad. You can't continue. You can't buy this. Can't buy this. No, you gotta buy this, and then you can buy everything else. It's kind of stupid that way. I think they need to change that so that way it's like everything here is available up front. We have about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 15. Yeah, we have about 15 here. So it's a waste of. It's this. It makes sense to have it be available all time around. So you can have it be a special store or just rework the book collections to kind of have it be available there. Because people would buy into replaying old events again. And, that used to do a thing, but that takes time as well, and I get it. So it's like something that they can look into to see if there's a way to make it a lot easier to kind of bring into the game without having to break bank, because then it makes it a lot more easier, profitable just to copy paste stuff thing and then bring stuff back into the game. And especially since they're doing the battle pass now, it's more like easier to kind of just bring everything back in because you already have the assets available. You just kind of make it available. You know what I mean? You just buy it to get in this case, like the craft shop. In this case here, it's this, which is the donut hole as an example. But it's just an idea per se that would actually make sense for me anyways, to have something be available, to have a section just for special old events that you can replay again by buying a bundle. And it also helps with that kind of stuff there too. Now, speaking of books, the book rework needs to be fixed. And when I'm talking about this, is I'm talking about when you click on the book, You know how sometimes it'll say you need this coins and then you click it and it'll take you to the character you need to put down? That's not good enough anymore. You can't just have this be the thing, because when this game first came out, the characters and items were not associated with books. It was only until after the Halloween update that they started to try to fix them or squeeze them into certain books here. As a result, this confused a lot of people. So for example, be careful what you wish for, right? Did you know in order to complete this book, you need to have Megan, Greg, and Clarissa in order to make the game? You wouldn't know that. You would get this. All right, good. Clarissa, like, you know, that's fine. Okay, you got that too. That's fine. Oh no, chapter 3 is locked. How do I get this chapter 3? Every time I get people ask me, well, how do I do this? And I'm like, you have to unlock Clarissa. But they didn't know that because they didn't tell them that. So maybe you should redesign this so that way somebody can click on this and go, hey, you need these characters in order to complete the game. Or like, you know, to complete this story, here are the following characters you need, right? Or when you go to here, it's like chapter 3 locked. You need this character, right? It's simple so that somebody can see and go, oh, okay, I need to get this in order to complete it, right? And it's only for certain books. Like, you know, when it comes to the special ones, that makes sense because you'll need to buy the pack in order to get it anyways. But it's just something that needs to be addressed because this is something that is annoying to new players because they've been adding so much stuff to the game and then bringing old things and like things from that was used to be events in as craftable items, so that now it's confusing to everything here. So then it just kind of causes problems. So I think they need to fix this as far as like making things connect, if that makes sense. So basically visualization changes a bit. So that way it's easier for people to know you need this character in order to progress into the game. If you don't get it, too bad. Like they do that for this, but I feel like this is like specifically for the later updates. Like this one is a prime example of what I'm talking about, but that's what I mean. And then another one too is this one where you need 2 characters. So that's something they need to fix in some way, shape, or form so that people can go, oh, okay, you need this character in order to progress. Okay, gotcha. So that's something they need to work on here. Speaking of rework, one thing they should probably do is the quests. Because especially with some of the new characters that came into the game right now, like I'll give you a prime example if I go over to Neighbors, per se. For example, oh no, probably Monsters. Is that a thing? Is it Monsters? Oh, hold on. Hold on. I could have sworn they were there before. Well, she was, but, okay, well, I guess she's not there anymore. That's kind of stupid, but, yeah, before, you know, you had these scenes here for some characters, and then to be like, hey, get this item, like, you know, oh, you got Grandma, because, and then there's like Grandma, it's like, oh, you need this in order to progress, and it was just like, wait a minute, hold on a minute, how do I get this? It doesn't explain anything to me, right? It like what the heck? Why is it not there, right? Well, it's because these are like for example for the Grandma, it basically one of the items you need is the alien meteorite here, and you won't know that because you need to level up more. So it's this weird thing where they have to kind of, and every time it's like an item that's not available, you click on it and it takes you to the shop and you're like, what am I looking at, right? It doesn't tell you the items you need is not in the shop anymore. This was an old item. So maybe what a great idea is, this is just me thinking at the top of my mind here, get rid of the quests that cannot be completed. It like have it so that if the item is not available in the shop or you don't have it, just get rid of it. Just delete it, not there anymore. And whenever you do have the item that were associated, or for some reason you get this item, then you can continue on with the quest and be like, ah, here it is, right? So that people are not confused when they're clicking on certain things. So that's something they need to look into fixing. Definitely. And of course, you know, there's that. And I think that's basically about it. There is one last thing I wanted to add, because I know they added this for, say, Snoopy and as well as Adams, but this is something I really don't think they'll probably add, and that's costumes and specifically the loot box. In this case, I would think it'd be a mimic box, but, you know, you'd click on the box and then it will give you some sort of items. You've seen it before if you played Snoopy or Adams.
it's somewhat the same thing. One of the benefits of having something like this, though, is that it will give you stuff like coins, items, currency, stuff of that nature, right? And then the costume skins would be like, oh, it'd be cool to kind of change your character in costume, so that way it actually make it interesting, stand out, right? The downside to this is that some animations that may have a costume associated will be blocked out, where it's like, oh, you can't play this because you need the costume in order to play it, so sorry. And which it would be very annoying, right? But the other thing too is that then that also includes that, you know, you would have to have a character for an animation. And I feel like for something like that, they would actually just have it be associated for only characters that were like exclusive with animations, I would say. That's my guess, but yeah, that's the rough skinny of it anyways. But for the most part, that's basically about it. Yeah, okay, yeah, see, for example, Grandma's available here. That's what I was trying to talk about. You get Grandma over here, but you need her items that's like more levels in, which is kind of stupid. Like, why would you do that, right? Right, you get her early, but you need items associated later on, which makes no sense. So, yeah, that's something they need to fix, but that's basically it.
Hold it, Grim. You forgot something. I just realized, after talking to a bunch of people, that there is something else that I wanted to add that would be great quality of life. So currently right now we have something here for the characters, right? Well, we don't have anything for the scenes at all. Wouldn't it be great to actually be able to, like right here, apparently there's like 72, right? Wouldn't it be great to actually click on that? To be able to like click on something like this, but takes us to a scenes only. So say Prince, you know, go to here with Karoo. It'll take me to the crash site, and then I can activate it. And then it also tells me if it's not available, like if there's time, and if how much it would cost to speed it up type of thing. I think that would be a great asset, and again, something that I think they should add in the future. If they're gonna rework this, that's something they should add to try to, you know, disassociate from a character to a you know, for a scene. Because currently right now, like look at this. This is a bit of a mess. But yeah. This needs to be fixed.
For the most part, I hope this rambling wasn't too bad. I trying to make these at least entertaining to watch. I get it. I try my best. We're kind of showing you visual examples and trying to talk about this. And here's something too. I know I hate doing this stuff as well. I know a lot of people watch my videos for Goosebumps stuff. I get it. I understand. The wait is really stupid and long. I get it. It sucks. But we're getting there. We're almost there. Just a little bit longer, I swear. And then we get more content, and you get better content from me. Memes and all. It's coming. But this is just a little thing out there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think you agree with my takes? Do you have any ideas would you like to see them do in the game? I'd love to hear it down below. Not only that, but if the developers are watching this, because I know some of them are, maybe take this into consideration putting this into your game. This might be official and might help you make the game go by quick. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just spilling out some information here that I think would be good. But anyways, that's it for me. I've been Grim, and this has been my quality of life wish list. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and yeah, that's about it. So see you later.